One of the most common responses I hear when I try to invite a friend to practice yoga with me is,
First thing that comes to mind.
Flexibility.
I'm not flexible. And to them I respond, do you wait to get clean before you take a shower, or do you go take a shower to get clean?
Start actually doing yoga, maybe I'd be more flexible.
As I've gotten older, it seems like I have more stress and anxiety, more lower back pain, and I have a struggle to focus. I didn't realize how bad some of these problems have gotten after I stopped practicing yoga for some time. I kept seeing these videos on YouTube of how I practiced yoga for 365 days. I did yoga every day, and I wanted to share my story and my perspective because there were no men who kind of shared that story. I don't know about you, but as I've gotten older, I spend more time sitting at a desk, and especially the lower back pain has become a big issue for me. Yoga isn't just a body transformation, but so much more. I'll share the before, the after, and what happens after I stop doing yoga and why I stopped. What we think of yoga is really modern yoga, and that's kind of created in the recent times. Yoga goes back in history, and there's a lot of different variations and models behind it, but the modern asana yoga, which is kind of the more physical practice, is what I focused on. But this video is going to be specifically about how asana and the physical practice of yoga changed my life. The first section is flexibility. One thing I noticed quickly after practicing yoga on a consistent basis was that I could touch my toes, right? With greater flexibility and mobility, it can improve a lot of different things in your life, including strength training, running. Life is all about balance, and we need to make sure that we have a good balance of strength, mobility, flexibility, and awareness of our physical bodies. Which is also a common question. Oh, you practice yoga? Can you touch your toes? But yeah, specifically with a lot of the postures that you do in a vinyasa-based asana practice is developing hamstring flexibility and openness.
What on earth?
And nowadays, I'm able to actually reach and put my palms on the floor while I keep my legs straight. I've had a slight increased flexibility in my upper torso, so now I'm able to actually reach more of my hands over my shoulders. And overall, my body tends to feel a little bit better. The next piece is lower back pain. If I don't line up my desk properly, if I'm hunching over and trying to work like this, or I'm sitting down and lounging in the couch like so, I tend to develop slight lower back pain. I absolutely love practicing yoga in a physical space with other people, and then once we were not able to because of everything that was going on in the world, I stopped practicing yoga as much. And then my lower back pain got worse. I actually ended up going to physical therapy for it and spent a lot of money trying to fix it, and it kind of didn't fully resolve itself, but I realized that once I had stopped going to my physical practice of yoga, I started to have more lower back pain, and that was probably because I was not strengthening and lengthening my lower back. For me, the transformation of just showing up to my mat, going through the movements, and developing the strength as well as the length in my physical body, I wouldn't say counteract me sitting down all day, but it helped alleviate some of the symptoms. Next is friends. Right? When you go to a physical space, kind of like a community where there's other people doing the same activity that you are, and you all have this shared interest in that activity, it's a great way to develop friends and relationships. I made so many of my recent close friends by just showing up to my mat, going to a yoga studio, and meeting other like-minded people, right? The community aspect, not feeling lonely, having a commonality and a shared interaction with another human being is really powerful. Like, I like it. I don't know about you, but it's just so valuable to be able to talk with somebody and be like, yeah, you know, we share the same type of experience. We enjoy doing the same thing. And then using that as a bouncing board to maybe share other activities outside of that. Whether it's grabbing coffee, only cold brew. I will not drink coffee if you like iced coffee. But when I stopped showing up to my mat, when I stopped going to the physical space, I realized that I wasn't interacting with people as much, and that loneliness aspect started to increase in my life. Next, dating. And for some reason, I always thought I was gonna meet the one at a yoga class, right? We would interact and share this common interest. But it never happened, and maybe it never will. But a lot of the friends that I've made have come from going to the yoga studio and practicing with people. And now that I've stopped going to my mat as much, I tend to not engage as much, and I do feel a little bit more lonely. And I spend all of my days talking to a camera rather than friends, something I need to fix. And maybe you haven't tried the physical practice of yoga yet. One thing I highly recommend is there's so many free resources online like Yoga with Adrienne. There's so many YouTube yoga classes that you can take. You can even start with Yoga Nidra, which is not physical based, and you just lay there and listen to the audio. Andrew Huberman highly recommends it. But I think the easiest way is take some of these classes online, get a little bit comfortable with the postures, then go find a local studio near you. Just Google yoga near me, go to the physical studio and put yourself in a spot where you're surrounded by a lot of other people. and you can watch what they're doing to kind of get an idea of what's going on. And there's so many different styles and variations, it doesn't matter. Just showing up to these spaces, trying it out, getting yourself uncomfortable can have an immense impact on how you feel and how your energy is. After 5 years of practicing yoga, becoming a yoga instructor,
engage your glutes, lift your hips to the sky.
If you want to see me do a 30 days yoga with Adrienne review, if this video gets 1,000 likes, I will do a yoga with Adrienne 30 days review. Since I stopped going to the studio, I socialized less, I got a little bit more lower back pain, and my stress and anxiety increased slightly. So what I've learned is I really need to go back to that space. I need to focus on committing to my practice because it brings some of these value adds to my life that I didn't even realize. And if you didn't know, I love yoga. Go follow me on Instagram, shervin.yoga. All I ask is just start. Get to your mat, show up, try it out, get the momentum building. 5 minutes a day is all you need. And sometimes supporting to keep yourself accountable can be a fitness tracker. So go watch my video on comparing the Apple Watch versus the Whoop strap, link down below.
What?
Is it time to go minimalist style?
Yeah, let's call Matt Diavella.